Hey, my name is PolishLynx, let's continue! Connected Hearts. At 2 AM, I totally did not just waste 3 hours searching for LED lights for wheels for a bicycle. And of course I haven't purchased yet. But I think I will. Maybe after searching for another 3 hours. Anywho, let's get to the game. What's wrong with you? I won't go back, not even... Wait, what? I won't go back, not even insane? Say what? Alright, because I don't understand the second question. Actually, that's not a question, that's a statement. Because I don't understand what the hell is the meaning of the second one. Let's go with first one. What is wrong with you? Do you really think it is okay to throw other people to the dungeon and leave them there? I'm angry and it is too easy to see. There is no compassion in my voice. I'm only trying to protect my kingdom, Henry answered, now sounding nervous. Looks like there is actually some regret in his heart. Protect your kingdom? Do you even know it? My question is strange, but as we talk, the inhabitants are destroying one another in a frightening way, doing more damage than anything I could ever do. Henry looks into my eyes for a second and then looks away. Seems my words had shaken him. I can't think of anything else to say, so we both go quiet. Time passes almost crawling until finally my lips move to make other question. Why were you crying? He trembles after listening to my words, and then pretends to be angry. Huh? I wasn't crying, he said before cleaning his face. Alright, if don't want to go, it will have to be by force. Guards! I remember the first time I heard that order, my whole body trembled. However, this time it produces nothing in me. I don't even blink while looking at him. Time passes with no response, unlike the first time, which was instantaneous. Henry. Your guards won't come. My voice sounds unusually cold. After saying that, I remember seeing they destroyed in the entrance. Huh? He exclaims, confused before looking at me angry. What did you do to them? Nothing, I simply said, not even knowing if I should add anything else. Seems he doesn't know what is happening out there, and if that's the case, it would be better for him to see it with his own eyes. It is something very hard to explain with words, and I fear that if I try it, I will only make him angrier. Nothing! You're lying! I stared at him in silence, letting the time pass slowly. I don't know how to treat children. I just act naturally, and in this case my answer is to be serious. Why are you crying? Ask again, changing the subject. Are you unhappy in this place? What? Henry exclaimed. At the same time, he makes a bitter face. No, of course not. The kingdom of the sun is the best place that could exist. Somehow I can't believe that. Is the best place because there is no one here? I see him tremble at that question. For a split second his eyes show weakness, before going back to anger. That was how he really felt. No, you are wrong. People only ruin things. Here everything is perfect, because nobody complains or yells at you. Everyone is always smiling. It's much better than the real world. The devotions he uses to say that seems pitiable. I look down for a moment, feeling sorry for him, because clearly he can't admit that he is unhappy. This is only a farce. You have to grow up, man. I mean, kid. This is only a farce. Everyone smile, everyone listen to you and obey you. Nobody even contradicts you or talk behind your back. But you know what? This is all a farce. None of those puppets have a heart. They are only toys. And you yourself must know it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be feeling alone. After saying that, I look around at the castle before setting my eyes on his seeing the incredulity on his face. It's true, I guess you could call this world perfect, but that's only because it is empty. It has no flaws because there is nothing here. False happiness, false friends, false people. They exist only in your imagination. You are right in thinking real people are full of defects. They make us angry many times, but they disappoint us. They make us cry and many more things. But what they give us is real. They are there. You can hear their voices, feel their warmth, and share your ideas. That is much more than anything all of your puppets together could ever do. I confess I didn't plan to speak so much, but once I started, everything flowed out naturally. Now I see Henry with his eyes open with incredulity. Soon he looks down and covers his face with both hands. He looks down, about to cry, but, manages to hold it. Somehow. Somehow he manages that. Okay. Maybe I was too harsh on him, but it was necessary. Sometimes a kink in the rear can push you further than sweet words. Henry, do you want to see what happened with your guards? That way you will see I was being honest before when I said I did nothing to them. And that might be a pretty decent idea. I had just said that when I see how he reacts, staring at me with great curiosity. No, I don't want. Whatever. He says nothing, but it's clear he wants to know. Come on, it won't take long. You can trust me. Kind of. He finally nods. Okay, but you better not be lying. It is an empty threat. I ignore it and then turn back, pushing the curtain away to cross it. Then suddenly I feel something is wrong. It was strange, some sort of intuition I don't remember having before. I look up where the puppets are having party, only to find that the place is empty now. There is not a single one of them there. They just disappeared without reason and without making a sound. I blink confused, unable to think what it could mean. What are you looking at? At this moment I shake my head. Nothing? I said at the same time I turned to Henry, seeing the confused and impatient look on his face. Then I turn my side to the front. Without delay I start to walk to the castle's entrance. However, it is hard not to ask myself in my mind what happened with them. The way back is just like always. We walk all the way in silence until we are close enough to see the entrance at the distance, along with the destroyed bodies of the guards laying on the cold ground. Huh? Henry exclaimed before running to them. What happened to them? Who did this? He looks at the bodies confused, then picks up one of the gears, seeing it fall apart between his fingers. They are completely ruined. After saying that, he turns to me, with a sad look on his eyes, like a child whose toys had just been stolen. At least doesn't seem he believes I did it. It was another of them. The inhabitants of the kingdom are fighting. After saying that I pause, Henry stays quiet with his sigh down, looking at the pieces. I guess it must be really hard for him to believe it. Let's go to the city. There you will be able to see it with your own eyes. There is no answer. Henry remains still, his sight fixed on the same spot. He seems to be deeply thinking about something. There is no need, I believe you. I was about to say something when suddenly Henry speaks. He then looks up and turns to me. His eyes reflect a profound sadness, but also resignation, as if he had finally accepted he couldn't keep lying to himself. Actually, whatever. During the nights, the kingdom of the sun goes insane. And hidden explorers, they quickly repair everything and then pretend nothing had happened. always knew about it. After saying that, Henry shakes his head. No, it's more like I had dreams where that happened many times. But after waking up and seeing everything was like usual, I just forget about it. But I always had the fear it was more than a simple dream, and now I finally can confirm it. Oh, I know I can. Okay, whatever. The sadness on each of his words feel heavy on my heart. Without thinking twice, I pat his head to comfort him. Henry looks down and sighs. When he returns his sight to my eyes, I can see a sliver of kindness in his. Come with me, I'll lead you to the exit. My very core trembles surprise when I hear him say that. Really? I said, unable to believe it. Henry nods. Yeah, I believe you deserve to go back. His voice sounds much more friendlier. He had casted aside his role as the king. Thank you very much. I started thankful. After saying that, I see him take a deep breath. Then he starts walking back to the town. This way. The well I told you about is in the town's church. Okay, I will follow you. My heart beats excited knowing that I would finally get out the sword. I only have one dab left, but I prefer to ignore it for now. Instead, we go down the stairs back to the city. I can say it is any less scary than before. There were buildings with impossible architecture, pieces of clockwork, and broken masks on the ground. The caving of the cross and the sound of lurking puppets, along with the occasional bugs. Henry trembles with each one of them, as a kid afraid of thunders would. He even moves closer to me as if wanting to hug me. But he holds out, pretends to be brave. Is it like this every night? I suddenly ask the question just to make a conversation. If we go quiet for too long, it will feel like we are alone, like divided by a great distance. Henry never turns to look at me. His side is always to the front. I never got out of the castle, so I couldn't be sure. But many times I dreamed that the city goes mad at night just to be reconstructed later when the sun comes out. I thought those were just dead, dreams, nightmares. But it seems it's not like that. Henry gulps and then takes a deep breath, cleaning his face later with one hand. He seems anguished to know the truth. I set my side to the front and change the subject. Henry, what did you do during the day? What do you mean? I mean, who did you have fun during the day? What? Or what kind of work you did? Now that I think about it, it is a very good question. I can't imagine what he had to do as the king of a puppet world. But if he did nothing more than sitting in the throne, that would be incredibly boring. I had to do nothing, being the king of any kingdom. Probably ideal kingdom. I had no job or, to give an order. So I used all day to have fun. Doing what? Henry stops when I make the question. Then he turns to me, looking at me with curiosity. Well, I ate sweets the whole day. Okay, how is that any fun? Also, I had also plenty of toys and many books to read. Now that's fun. Some video games even. Oh, that's also fun. But they were all very repetitive. I got bored of them pretty quickly. I scratch my head while thinking on what he said. I see him tilt his head with curiosity while looking at me in silence, trying to guess what was on my mind. Somehow I feel what he said about the video games was because he had knowledge about no more than a few of them. Exactly. If this world is a projection of his ideal world, then it must not be able to have things beyond his knowledge. Where I come from, there is an infinity of video games, each very different, or at least most of them. Some people tend to copy the most popular ones. Really? I see him ask incredulous. Yeah, unfortunately, there is an avalanche of Battle Royale, so hopefully it will end soon. Yeah, I'm sure you will be able to find many to your liking. I respond a bit excited. Henry blinks, looking down for a brief moment. I guess that would be fun, is all he says. Then we resume walking down the stairs. I see the broken piece of metal in our way without saying a word about them. It is better to ignore the night and keep on moving. Thankfully we are invisible to them, otherwise I fear we wouldn't have gotten this far. I doubt I would have been able to get to the castle in one piece. We continue moving for unknown minutes until finally I look up, seeing the church at a distance. I don't say a single word, just continue walking, seeing it get closer with every step. When we arrive, I see a big wooden door. It looks very solid, much more than the bars of the prison. My lips move. I was about to ask how we were going to open it, but before that the answer appears before my eyes. Henry places his hand on the door and softly pushes it. The door responds, opening itself smoothly. Nice. It obeys the order from its king without second thoughts. I blinked confused after seeing it. Definitely having a king at your side was something very useful. At least I won't have to worry about closed doors. Lucky you. What are you doing? Come on! Then said Henry, after noticing I was absent-minded. I instantly shake my head and smile embarrassed. Okay. He looks at me for a second, before turning his side to the front and starting to walk. I follow him silently. The interior of the church is, to say in a few words, dark and incredibly frightening. The only light comes from the candles that adorn the place. I can see numerous religious icons that go from paintings to sculptures. What is interesting is that I can't recognize any of them. They don't look like any religion I know, so I guess they are invented. But without a doubt, what was the most frightening were the puppets sitting near them, praying in silence. They appeared to have been like that for many countless years. Some of them were attacked. There is one who is missing half of its face, other without the shoulder and the head, and the worst of all was just a pair of kneeling legs. It would be the perfect scenery for a horror movie, one I would prefer to never watch. Aren't you afraid? I suddenly asked Henry. He seems perfectly relaxed, something that surprised me for a kid of his age. Even an adult would be afraid in this place. He instantly turns and looks at me with curiosity, tilts his head and blinks confused. Huh? No, why should I be afraid? I can't say I expected that response. I just shyly smiled as if I had said a bad joke, really bad joke. Ah, nothing, just got a bit scared, I think. He looks at me for a couple of seconds before setting his eyes to the front. Being the king, I guess he isn't afraid anything would hurt him. For him this place is just dark, but not dangerous. To me instead, this mystery of what could be hiding in every corner puts my instincts in red alert. Come on, we are almost there, Henry said before opening a door that leads to the back of the church. Then he turns around and invites me to follow him with his eyes. Together we walk through a hallway lit up by candles until we reach a spiral staircase that goes down more than my eyes could see. I just hope the well he was talking about isn't as far as the Earth's core. Unless there is an elevator, I guess. Henry, who do you worship in this church? I guess it is not the best question I could ask, but saying I wasn't that curious would be a lie. He stopped for an instant, takes a deep breath. A couple of people without importance. His reaction is quite peculiar, to call it one way. It is clear there is something he's hiding from me, since he looks suddenly sad. I think it's best not to push with the subject, besides there is another thing I'm curious about. The well you talk about has always been here? Henry shakes his head in denial and then looks into my eyes with curiosity. No, it suddenly appeared one day, just like you did. At first I didn't know what did, but after seeing the reflex of the water many times, I realized it was a door back to the real world. That's why I ordered to have it sealed. I didn't want anything from that place to enter into the kingdom of the sun. I look down pensive. Plenty of ideas cross my mind, but my lips don't say a single one of them. I understand, was my weak answer before resuming my way. After many long seconds, it appears we had entered an underground cave. A cave, you say? We've been in one cave before. Come on, just longer, Henry said, walking faster. Without a doubt, I follow after him. It is behind the door. He then added. At the same time, he pushes with both hands a huge double door made of iron, as if it was the door of a fortress. The doors grinned as they moved, revealing the purest darkness behind them. I can't see even a centimeter beyond them. Same, to be honest. However, that doesn't seem to bother Henry. At least I can see the letters for. Come on, it will get illuminated once we step inside. I nod and then follow him, crossing the doors. My heart beats with anxiety, feeling something bad was about to happen, but that has to be a mistake. And then, just like he said, the lights turn on suddenly. The last time I was in a place like this was in the letter, and can't say I have good memories of area like that. Anyway, there are gas lamps hanging all over the roof of the cave. They lit on, magically revealing a well at the end of the cave. And finally, used the correct form, not lit. Nice. A simple well like any kid would imagine. However, that's not the only thing the lights reveal.
What is the king doing? Is he trying to escape? Outrageous! Unforgivable! There is no worse crime!
I feel a chill run down my spine, shaking my very core when I see a big number of puppets inside the cave. But that alone is nothing. It was hearing them speak what made me feel is if someone stuffed my back with dozens of ice needles. Later, to make it worse, the metal door closed behind our backs, making a loud noise that gives me goosebumps. I look back on it to realize we are trapped before looking back at the puppets. I instantly recognize them. Those are the noble puppets that were having a party in the second floor of the castle. Somehow they foresee that we would come here and set up a trap.
No, you are wrong.
I was only helping Guard to go back to his ward.
And why does the king help him? Why is the king helping the real one? When the king himself is who hates them the most. The king is wrong. The king shouldn't help him. If he does, then he isn't up to rule anymore.
Henry looks very disturbed. The puppets lag him with their words. And what is worse, they are putting him against me. I turn to face him with curiosity, feeling my heart as heavy as lead. He's trembling. Looks so vulnerable.
I just wanted to help him.
After seeing that Henry looks down, he seems about to cry.
Why do you want to help him? Don't you realize he wants to take you back to the real world? That place you hate? That place that hates you? There everyone rejects you. There everyone thinks badly of you. There everyone disappoints you. There everyone is a bother. There you are unhappy.
Different puppets speak, but all of them connected as if they have a single mind. Henry covers his face and sobs. He looks like heartbroken. Seeing him like that tears my soul, but I don't know what to say. I don't know what I can do. It looks like many things had happened to him before arriving to this place.
The young man is the source of your problems. If he disappears, the king will go back to normal. If he disappears, the king will have no more doubts. He must disappear.
Well then, how about you let me pass? That's how I will return to my world and basically disappear from this world. It's a win-win. At that moment, I feel my heart jump. My eyes open wide with incredulity, noticing how one would but take out a crossbow and points right at my heart. Henry? I call his name with shaky voice, scared, but there is no answer. He looks terribly confused, as if the whole world had turned upside down for him.
He must disappear to protect the kingdom of the sun, to protect our king, to protect our happiness. He must disappear.
At that moment the puppet shoots the crossbow. The shining tip of the bolt flies straight to my heart. I'll die. If I don't do something, I'm sure I will die. Now, will you? Will you? Because technically, what if the arrow will work the way the bars in the prison? What if the arrow will work like the bars in the prison? So basically, maybe I'm gonna take a gamble that it works like that. Like, you know, we can stop it or something. Risky, but whatever. My instincts scream for me to move away, but my body doesn't react. I stay paralyzed, just watching the arrow get closer to me at incredible speed. How come I'm paralyzed? It was my decision. My gamble. And then, for an instant, everything turns red, followed by unbearable pain that shakes my very core, and that was a mistake. Oh! I exclaimed when feeling the arrow buried in my chest. I can see the tip buried into my chest fully. It is a sure death. It is impossible someone could survive something like that. And yet I seem to care so little. The unbearable pain goes away as soon as it appeared, leaving only a coldness as if nothing had happened. The wound not even bleeds, as if my body could simply ignore it and pretend it was nothing. Wait, I was correct. Or maybe I should say my mind is the one which ignores it. I take a hand to the arrow and touch it. It was almost like touching air. Yes! For a second my eyes sees it as transparent as if its presence was so thin it could disappear in any moment. Yes, without a doubt, that was the answer. Everything in this world is product of the imagination of a kid. They aren't real as I am. Just like the bars of the prison, they can't stop me. I am a genius! Right, I'm not, but I am. Without a doubt, I take off the arrow from my chest. It was so easy, it doesn't even hurt when I do so. Then I look at where it was finding, there isn't even a wound there. It is unlogical, the arrow doesn't exist, it can't reach me if I just ignore it. It isn't real! At that moment, forget about it and drop it to the ground. When it touches the earth, it crumbles, turning to smoke. Then I set my eyes on Henry, who looks back at me surprised. His eyes shine with an incredulity I would have never expected from him. Without thinking, I smile. I think now I know how you feel.
Huh?
I know what it is to think the world is trash, and the older you get, the more you think that. Oh yeah, you do. I can confirm. But not everything is bad. That's true, there are also good things that are worth it.
What are you talking about? The world is garbage!
Yeah, you're right, but it is more than just that. It is also the only place where you will meet a real friend. Where you will have your best experiences. I understand that there is a lot to hate, too much actually. Things hardly go the way you want, but I'm denying it won't do you any good. After saying that, I put one hand on his head. I don't like it. I have felt like that before, but now I feel nothing more than sorry for the kid trapped in this fake world. Henry, if you stay in this place, you will always have your hands empty. You will live a lie eternally. You will never know what it is to have a real friend, or to meet another person who loves you for who you really are. You will never learn what wonderful things others can do. I look at him for a couple of seconds, at his teary eyes knowing I was right, before looking away and facing the nobles. where they should be standing uneasy disarmed pieces of clockwork. Hey. Then I hear Henry say something with shaky voice. I instantly turn to him. I do want to know what it is to have a friend to talk with, even if his voice is different from mine. I'm tired of being so bored and so lonely. I can only nod to that. Seems I had awakened something inside of him. In that case, come with me, I say with a smile. At the same time, I offer my hand. He accepts it and smiles back. Yeah, let's go! In silence, we hold hands. But you are both guys. Then walk to the well at the end of the cave that all this time has been waiting for someone to jump in. I can't see the bottom, however I think I can hear the sound of the ocean coming from it. I don't bother to ask how. Are you ready? I was feeling my own heart tremble. Saying that I was comfortable with the idea would be a lie. But I have gone too far to doubt. This is the moment. Henry nods, telling me with the gesture that he is ready. Then I return my sight to the well. I take a deep breath and then hold my breath for a moment, preparing to jump. Scared, I put one foot in front of the other, and then suddenly I find myself falling. In just an instant, everything becomes dark. I fall deeper and deeper, losing sense of everything around me, until finally I realize that I can't tell if I'm still falling or not. Achievement unlocked. Story of Henry. Dream 3. The four of them fell into a deep dream, each one entering their own world. The four of them? Wait, you mean the three previous, people that we've met, basically? Because of the darkness in their hearts, their worlds were also dark, but even then, they managed to find a little of peace. It was a new opportunity for them to know each other and know what they were missing. While they were dreaming, the girl visited them frequently to make sure they were alright. She talked to them about how a prince would come to their rescue because she couldn't do it herself. She says so many good things, there is no doubt she is dreaming. He is brave, kind, smart, and above everything, someone who will never leave a friend behind. She always said those words with a gentle smile, believing thoroughly in every one of them. The passage of time is imperceptible to them. Each day is just like the other, with nothing changing except for the girl who grows a little more. She drifts away from the original shape and grows into a dreamlike one, so that when they meet each other they have the same age. She couldn't stay a child forever. Time keeps passing, and there is no sign of the prince. The kids soon forgot about it, learning to accept the world born from their interior. But she never forgot. She is still waiting for the person who promised seeing her again. She knows it is unfair. She knows she shouldn't do this. She knows it is not his fault to forget it, but beside all that she waits. Waits for the person that will finally make her open her heart. For the person who convinced her he would be always at her side, with whom she didn't fear the happiness would end or the loneliness come back. She waits for him, patiently waits, until finally, she can't anymore. Anyone would say you are a normal person. But to me, there isn't anyone more special. No clue who said it to who. Suddenly, I open my eyes. I rub my eyes and then blink. I have lost count of how many times I have woke up in the same way in a different place. Now I'm in a room with desk and many file cabinets. It looks like an office. I was sleeping on the desk with my hands and head resting on it. I find it funny to think that it was like I had fallen asleep at work, but soon I got serious. I've never fallen asleep at work. I have a friend who was able to do that though. What is this place? I ask with curiosity. Then I get up from the chair, or at least that was my intention, before noticing there were some papers lying on the desk. Oh, maybe some message again. Confused, I had my eyes on them. They seem to be profiles of the kids in the orphanage. However, most of the words are crossed and can be read. Great. I don't doubt that was the work of Alice. Profile 1 XXXX suffers of social anxiety. She is afraid of interacting with children and even more with adults. She is afraid people are always judging her, and the only thing that makes her comfortable is the plushie she carries. Thankfully, in her time in the orphanage, she has shown signs of improvement. That's about Mary. If it continues this way, in 6 months she will be available for adoption. Currently, there is a couple interested in her. Profile 2 XXXX suffers from chronophobia, fear of time. Chronophobia is not a very known word, but it means fear of anxiety to the passage of time. Curiously, it is more common in elderly adults, but can also appear in children when they fear for a particular day to come, just like how adults are afraid of death. Is that about Royer? Sadly, the patient shows no signs of improvement, but rather his symptoms seem to get worse. If this continues, I suggest a low dose of sertralina daily for anxiety 50 millimeters. Wait, millimeters? Shouldn't it be milliliters? Whatever. Currently there are no one looking for him. If that doesn't change in the next year, the Heart's orphanage will adopt him. Profile 3 suffers of schizophrenia. I assume that will be Henry. Thankfully it was detected in time and he is currently under treatment. Most of the symptoms have disappeared. It is recommended to keep under vigilance in the orphanage for longer until he has shown up a full recovery. Until then, there will be no discussing about his possible adoption. Profile 4 post-traumatic stress. Symptoms include amnesia. Oh. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Hey, give me back that note. I swallow after reading it. Suddenly my hands tremble, then the papers slip from my fingers, falling back to the desk. I instantly put a hand in my forehead. I am sweating. My heart is heavy and hard like stone. The last profile. Who could that be? Yeah, I wonder. Definitely not the character we are leading in the game. That's definitely not him. Just think about it, shook into the record like an earthquake. I close my eyes and slowly breathe, trying to relax. It is better not to think about it. Now I remember, I don't even know if those are real. Alice could easily be toying with my mind. After thinking about that, I open my eyes with some relief in them. I sigh, letting my anguish go with my breath. Then I notice something more. With curiosity, I pick up a page written in hand, with very shaky letters. It seems whoever wrote it was very nervous. I don't want to lose it. You can't take it from me. It belongs to 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 me. To me. It belongs to me. It belongs to me. It belongs to me. The last phrase is repeated countless times all over the page. I swallow after reading it. It is truly frightening. Amnesia. In silence, I leave the page where I found it. I prefer to forget about it. Wasting no more time, I stand up. Before heading to the door, I check the file cabinets with curiosity. Half of them is locked and those which aren't are empty. In the end, it's a waste of time. Without delay, I unlock the door and open it. It is then that I realize something. There is a name in the other side of the door. Dear? From the doctor, but okay, Richard Hartz. I read quietly. It seems I was in the office of the director of the orphanage. That would explain why those papers were on his desk. The first name is crossed and can't be read. I look at it in silence for a long second until I finally decide it's better to move on. With this, it seems I had finally explored all the rooms of the orphanage, with the exception of the basement, but personally I would prefer to avoid going down there.
Yeah, I understand why.
Now there's only one of the strange doors left to open. I hurry my steps. I'm impatient to open the fourth door. I can't be sure, but my heart beats excited thinking it is the way back. Once in the front of the door, I realize that all the lock pads are broken. They lay quietly on the floor, without any hope of ever being repaired, so much better for me. Would be funny if it was still locked. Then I set my eyes on the door that waits silently to be opened. I blink, doubting for a second. Then I slowly extend my hand towards it. My heart jumps with each millimeter I get closer, feeling my very core shake as I turn to the doorknob. What? Then I push the door, opening it.
And we'll find out what's behind the door in the next episode.
Anywho, for now, hope you enjoyed, and hope to see you tomorrow when we will continue this. Bye bye.